Welcome to episode 133 of the Horror Dads podcast. You're joined, as always, by your host, John and Jamie.
What's up?
We're here to talk about horror artists. What's up, dude?
Hell yeah. What's up, man?
It's going to be a good one, man.
So we are adorned with, wearing, our walls are always coated with horror art.
More than
Just
is acceptable, in fact.
Art, our lives are infected, I guess you could say, by the artists that are portraying some of our favorite creepy images. So we figured we would dedicate an hour or so of time to talk about some of our favorite horror artists.
Yeah.
John, what's happening, man?
Dude, this is going to be a good episode. It's no surprise we've interviewed a ton of artists on this podcast before. There are going to be multiple selections from our respective lists on this. So we're actually going to talk about 20 artists, 10 each. There will very likely be overlap. We're going in blind.
It's probably not going to be 20.
Yeah, 20 picks, I guess. So these aren't our favorite. They're not in any order. They're just 10 artists I love, 10 artists Jamie love. We're going to talk about the artist, some of the work, why we love them, a little bit about their style. And this is going to be a fun one, man, because we haven't really ventured down, like when we do top 10 lists, normally it's about a film or an actor or a genre. So this is a little interesting, more fun territory, I think.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah.
But before that, of course, we like to get into the original shit, the stuff about our lives and our family and what we've been watching and wearing and buying and all that good stuff. So where do you want to start, man?
Let's do it. We are in the throes of that tweening seasons, right?
Yeah,
Summer's coming to a close. Our local annual county fair is happening right now, which is always the end of the summer chapter, the start of the fall one. So this is our favorite time of year, and I'm loving these cool nights, dude. It's been amazing, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, we're turning the page. I'm starting to light my pumpkin candles. I drank my first pumpkin beer last night, so
oh yeah,
I'm almost there, man. I haven't thrown on any of my favorite Halloween favorites yet. I'm just still waiting until September to get started there. But
you got anything cool, newsworthy, relevant? This is end of August 2025 we're talking about this, so if you're listening to this far time from now, it might not be news, but right now it is. So what you got?
Yeah, so if you're listening to this when like Terrifier 6 is coming out, you're gonna be like, yeah, old news, bro. But I'm gonna talk about Terrifier 4 and how Damien Leone is currently writing the script, and he said he's gonna be digging into possibly the first 15 minutes or so of the movie is gonna be an origin story.
I heard about Origin being part of the new framework, so that'll be interesting, right?
Which is kind of both exciting and scary, because you could take that a little too far. I doubt that he will. I think Damien knows that part of what makes art is the mystique, and if you tear down the veil too much on art, it's going to just kind of be stupid. You know, you don't see him sharpening his machete and his fucking like Jason Voorhees. So I'm intrigued, honestly. Like, we've kind of seen where he stays. Like his little chamber down in the bottom of that warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
you mean where
so
he stays, like where he lives?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm interested to see kind of what made art. Again, I don't know how much we'll get of that, but any that you see, I think will add to it for sure. I'm intrigued by that. That kind of makes me more interested in Terrifier 4. We'll probably be talking about this when 6 comes out, whether we still like it or not, or if we even did. Like, are you intrigued at all by Terrifier 4?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah. We did 3 in the theater.
I'll go to the theater again and do it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, you know, and I'm looking forward to, because we got it with Freddy, we had it with Jason. You get it a little bit even with Michael, right? Like Halloween 2 kind of goes right into that. Hey, now you're brother and sister. So I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. Remember the one that takes place like on the pig farm and stuff? So I feel like that's a natural path as you progress into a franchise, and this certainly is becoming probably the most popular current franchise, I'd say, or the most talked about at least. Pretty polarizing, but yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to another installment. I'm going to check it out. I have some news as well that's not...
Hey, what do you have? Something less clowny?
Definitely less clowny, but Zach Kreger, so the director of Weapons, the director of Barbarian, it seems like, so he, Weapons coming out. I haven't seen it yet, Jamie. I'm sure you'll talk about that momentarily, but he appears to be getting the next installment of Resident Evil. So
Wow.
I'm very interested. It seems to me like that's a property that I feel like has been relatively misused up to this point. I don't know. And some of the shows were like, okay, I'm looking forward to a reboot though. I adore those games and I hope we get something good.
The shows? What shows are we talking?
There was one on Netflix. I want to say, I remember
Raccoon City or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember talking about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
So it was the past, I don't know, 6-7 years it came out.
Did we watch it?
I did. It was.
I feel like I might have. I don't know.
It was like fine. It was, but again, like I want something good.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get it.
Yeah, hopefully. Cool.
The other thing too, news wise, Halloween video game looks like has been greenlit for a release in 2026.
Yeah, the trailer looks pretty enticing. But again, so does the Friday the 13th, and you get in there and you're like, oh, this is just one of these games.
It's one of those things where it's like
but
horror movies to video games, translation bad. Video games to horror movies, translation bad. Like,
yeah, maybe keep it where it is. But also, I don't know, that trailer, man.
And The Last of Us
I'll spend
was
100.
successful, so.
Yeah.
Either way, that's what we got for news. But what have you been watching, man? Talk about Weapons.
Yeah, so Weapons, one of my favorite movies of the year, definitely. You haven't seen it yet, right?
Not yet. We were supposed to go Tuesday, but
right.
I've been blitzed with a project for work, so couldn't make it.
How life goes. You never even did see, I know what you did last summer. Not that it's great, but I mean, that's something that...
I won't know what happened this summer.
That's fine. Busy. Some people will say that's for the best. But Weapons was fucking, not a perfect film, but what is? But I would say solid 8 out of 10 for me. Man, loved it. I love the theater experience.
Maddie give it from Alone in Dark?
I think he gave it an 8.5. Said it was his favorite movie of the year for sure, which is fine. I have no arguments against that at all. You could give it a 9. But I just feel like there's a storytelling method in there that I like, but it makes something a little less rewatchable for me than I would like. But like it and I always kind of judge movies on rewatchability. That's always something that goes into my final rating. That might be why it only has an 8 and not an 8.5.
I think you're right. It's like that fractional thing because it doesn't dictate whether or not the movie's good, but it dictates whether you love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Is this something I want to watch constantly?
And we are the first to say that for us to love a movie, it doesn't have to be great. And for a movie to be great, we don't have to love it. Yeah. Like both those things don't have to be equal.
So yeah, Weapons, awesome. Highly recommend. I'm sure most of you already seen it, but one that I feel like most people probably haven't seen yet is a movie called Time After Time from 1979. Did you watch this yet? I recommended it to you.
I haven't checked it out yet. No.
So this is a movie that I kept thinking of you on. Like, you will love this movie. So this is about Jack the Ripper. One of his friends back in, when is this, the fucking 1800s or whatever, the Jack the Ripper was prevalent. One of his friends creates a time machine. Now,
Hot Tub Time
back
Machine
in the
sequel.
day, exactly. Back in the prequel. Back in the day when Jack the Ripper's in his heyday, they're at a dinner party. Jack the Ripper happens to be there. The cops show up kind of, hey, we think we know who Jack the Ripper is. He goes and climbs in his buddy's time machine, hops off to the fucking 20th century. So now he's in 1978 or whatever, roaming around fucking San Francisco. But our main antagonist, who is actually Malcolm McDowell, so he's like our main protagonist trying to go and track down Jack in 1978 San Francisco. He falls in love with a bank teller who also catches the eye of Jack the Ripper. So it becomes this suspenseful tale of him trying to catch Jack, while Jack's trying to elude him because he knows he's there.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking great movie. This was a Tubi treat.
Tubi, huh?
Tubi, yeah. And you know how Tubi is. Hit or miss.
Yeah, and
I love
it. Name like Time After Time on Tubi, you're like, this is an 80s rom-com no one ever heard of, probably going to stay away from it, and then you give us this little detail.
Yeah, I read the description there, and I was like, Jack the Ripper comes to the future?
That sounds great.
Yeah, I am all in. Highly recommend. Honestly, I'd recommend this one as much as I would Weapons. Like, this movie is so goddamn enjoyable. What a treat.
Yeah.
That's Time After Time, 1979.
Time After Nine.
All right, how about you, man?
So I checked out Heretic, which actually is our Patreon Never Seen It episode for August 2025. So
that's an intellectual delight.
Man, what a great film.
Yeah.
I know you saw it a couple months ago. I finally caught up to it, and I was really, really pleased with what happened. Incredibly well acted, and we cover it in detail in like a 45-minute bonus episode over on Patreon. So if you want to hear the full spread from both Jamie and myself, you can do so over at Patreon. I've been sticking with the new Dexter, which I've been enjoying. I feel really good about it, actually. I was reading
I love it.
I think I love it. Yeah. It's not too the show, I feel like, always has struck a healthy balance of humor, irony, suspense, scariness. I don't know. I feel like it's a really healthy blend of multiple different things, but there's something about this where I feel like almost like less is at stake and I'm having more fun watching it. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're on like season 95 of it, but is that how you feel about it?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm along for the ride. I really like the way that they're handling it because it could almost be seen as like cheesy on the nose. I don't know.
That's why I in my brain, I was like, anything that's remotely good, like my bar is here. New Blood, I thought was really good. And then the prequel season came out, which, by the way, season 2 was greenlit, and then it was just canceled.
Canceled, yeah.
And it's got to be because this is going well,
maybe,
right?
That's a bummer because New Blood was good too.
Hopefully,
or whatever it was called.
Yeah, hopefully they bring that back later. But
Original Sin, right?
Yeah,
Is that
Original
what it was?
Sin, yeah.
But yeah, this new one I think is really fun with the serial killer angle.
Yeah.
Tyrion Lannister, he's great in it.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's good.
I also rewatched. This wasn't a new watch, but I watched Totally Killer. That's the one with Sabrina in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually watched that with Luna, and because we were watching Sabrina and stuff, and she was really into it. So I had fun on the rewatch too. I really enjoy that movie. It's kind of like a Teen Wolf. What's the the Frankenstein movie that came out last year?
Oh yeah, Lisa
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sort of in vein with that, so we had a lot of fun checking that out.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. Yeah.
You been eyeing anything up that you're buying or looking to buy?
Yeah, so I actually we have this record store, Cycle Breakers, right?
Yes, we do.
So I popped in there not too long ago and picked up Halloween H2O
on VHS.
Yeah, $5, I think. God damn, dude.
Yeah.
But even better than that, they had this warehouse sale where they were trying to get rid of some extra shit. They have a warehouse down, and so their record store is inside West Side Bowl, which is this amazing bowling alley, restaurant, bar,
concert
right
venue
up the street from us. Yep, concert venue. And their record store is really small, but it's a cool little spot inside the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Well, they did this warehouse sale to get rid of some shit in downtown Youngstown. I went down there. It was fucking awesome. People crammed in there, packed, shuffling beside people to get to the different section. And there's me just trying to get to the VHS in the back.
Excuse me.
So I picked up a few VHSs. I think they were like $4 each. I picked up The Explorers. You know, I love that movie from 86 or whatever. The Last Starfighter with Lance Guest from Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Flatliners.
The original one?
Gotta be, right? 90, yeah.
I'm sure that new one's not on VHS.
I would not want that on VHS. But this one, dude.
Hold up. If Flatliners original, $4, sitting next to the remake, $1 on VHS. You buy them both for $5? Yeah, you have to.
For $1. Yeah.
For $1? Yeah. That's awesome.
Make change for fucking, just give the thing to me, you know?
So,
but yeah, no. Good stuff. Oh, I had some more shit. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. What you got?
So I picked up the Toxic Avenger popcorn bucket.
Oh shit, yeah.
And we went to see this. I'm gonna hold that because it's tying to my family antic. But last night was my birthday. My wife
totally forgot your birthday.
No,
God
it's fine.
Damn it.
My wife bought me the Scream script.
Happy birthday, Jamie.
We can stop this because I knew this was gonna happen.
All right, Scream script. Keep going.
So my wife got me the Scream script. Clearly like a printed copy, right? Which is fine, like off Etsy or something. But it's autographed by the entire cast.
Shit, dude.
Like real. That's not printed. That's like the actual different pen. And dude, fucking awesome.
Do you have it in did you get a box like that for it?
She had an option to get it in a shadow box, but she thought that I would want it outside of the box, and she's absolutely right. So I could read it and look through
check
it
it
and
out,
thumb
yeah.
through it. Yeah. She said she actually started reading it with the kids before she gave it to me. And she's just kind of reading it to herself, and she looks over and the kids are both like wide-eyed, like staring at her like, we're trying to go to sleep. Can you please
We should, for the Halloween party this year, everyone's gonna come down here and be like, where's the beer pong? And we'll have this big table set up, and it's like, no, you're here for the table
you're
read?
going to read the script, yeah.
Hi.
We each read a page.
Tatum, welcome. Sit here,
Perfect,
please.
yeah. Well, what we don't tell them is we make everyone dress up as a cast member from Scream. Teen
It's
Tatum
okay.
sitting around in lava lamp skirts.
Lava lamp skirts. I love it. I love it.
All right, I think that's it for me, man. I think that's my purchasing.
All right. I actually went a little wild on the Bath and Body Works fall line launch. Last weekend they had the 3-wick candles for $11. Dude,
Wow,
I
that's a good
stocked
deal.
up. I'm going to be good until like maybe December. I got leaves, I got sweater weather, I
Wow.
got white pumpkin. I was down here with Luna last night stacking them all up. We were smelling them, so really really pumped about that. And
I love that. They
I'm
never
just
smell
ready,
better
man.
than they do before you light them.
man, it's just
Once
like
you
I'll
light them, it's
sleep
just
in
like-
there.
You get hints of the
Yeah.
But man, when you like,
Yep.
My
Love
wife
it.
just picked up some like boutique candles. I don't know if someone's selling them or what, but they're like pumpkin waffles. There's not a better fucking smell.
And I will eat 50 of those.
Oh
Man.
like if you told me that when you passed away, you would smell like that, I would kill you right now.
That's such a ridiculous
Yeah.
way to frame it. All right. Now I'm scared. So what are you wearing, Jamie? I'm wearing
You should be
Kevlar
scared.
vest.
I have a anti-stab vest. So since we're speaking of artists, not to get too deep into this, someone that may make the list, but I'm wearing a t-shirt from our good buddy, David Slobodnik, who also
Yeah.
does our tattoos, and is an amazing artist from the Youngstown area, in lieu or by way of Pittsburgh. I believe that's where he's from. So
Yeah, he's from
I'm
PA.
glad that we got him here in Y-Town, and love that dude, and I love his art. And this is like the double wolf head, which if you follow his art, he does this kind of with different creatures, and it's kind of a staple of his arsenal. And the dude is sick. So David
Yeah.
Slobodnik, check him out.
Yeah, and I got my Agent Dale Cooper tee on. I bought this at Horror Hound this year. Fright Rags, our buddy Ben Scrivens, of course. Everything he does is fantastic. And I've been itching for some new Twin Peaks, man. So I think I've been trying to, because I told my kids, like, hey, if it's PG-13, TV-14, I don't care. And Luna was like, X-Files is TV-14. And I was like, man, I'm nervous to start this with you because I think it's going to be boring for her to start.
Mhm.
And then I was like, do we do Twin Peaks? And I was like, well, that's probably going to be even more boring for her. So I don't know when to
Ooh, yeah,
do
Twin
that.
Peaks, I
Yeah,
don't think.
a little
Yeah.
nervous about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hit family stuff, dude. So you were going to touch on something movie related, Toxic Avenger popcorn bucket.
Yeah, so
right?
we all went and saw Freakier Friday
Oh yeah.
with our girl Jamie Lee Curtis, and Lindsay Lohan is back on the big screen. Who's not ecstatic about that?
She is not ecstatic about it, or you
No,
are.
I said who's not.
Oh,
think
who is not?
because
I get it. I
everybody
get
is.
it. I get it. Good night.
Anyway, we get in there. I'm just kind of like,
Happy birthday.
here we go again.
I'm good at this.
Here we go again. Another movie for the kids. Good times. But Freakier Friday was fine. But we walk in, and it was almost like somebody had a spotlight on this fucking Toxic Avenger popcorn bucket, right? Like the first thing my eyes went right over there. I was like, well, I got to get that. So
They're doing it for the one person, and we're always the one person.
We're the
It's
one
like,
person, yeah. Well, it works.
Oh, Vanna
So-
White is standing there with a popcorn bucket. I must have.
So I get that. We get in there. Freakier Friday was great. You know, it's fine. It's fun. The kids liked it. So I was like, after we left there, I was like, well, you guys dragged my ass to this movie. I'm going to make you guys watch Freaky. So we get home, like the next day, I think it was. I found it streaming somewhere. Made everyone watch it. Forgot about some of the. You kind of forget how unkidly that movie is. So there was a lot of parts where I'm like, fuck, fumbling with the.
I do love that movie,
You know.
though, man. It's
Yeah.
fun. So my family stuff. Part of the reason I'm so burned out and tired and confused, we were cramming in some end of summer last minute stuff. Softball season, fall ball started again. So school started again. Like we're right back in it. But before we did that, we did our last minute family vacation. I took the family to New York City, and part of our trek out to New York was we went to see Stranger Things on Broadway. And you know me well, like live theater, I understand why people love it. I understand why so many wonderful artists come from that world, but it's in general not something I desire or I seek out, right? So when we were prepping for the trip, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go see a Broadway play, like this is the one I want to see. I've seen 2 now. This one and Jekyll and Hyde, right? So there's a theme there. I was excited about the idea. Like the kids were very excited. My wife was excited. So I was like, you know, this is more for you guys than it is for me. Plus, I love Stranger Things. Win, 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 win. We get there. I reached out to a colleague, a friend who actually knows someone involved in the production. And he's like, hey, I'll hook you up with my buddy. He's involved. And I was like, I didn't even know how he was involved. Sends me his number, group text. Guy breaks off with me and he's like, hey, do you want to come backstage after the show? And I was like, wait, are you involved in? He's like, yeah, I star in it. So he plays young Dr. Brenner because it's a prequel story. And he's texting me like, they're like, turn off your phones and the thing's coming down. And he's texting me from backstage. He's like, hey, when the show's done, come to House Right and your name's with the security. And I was like, wait, what? And dude, it was the most captivating, exciting. I'll join a theater club right now. It was amazing. It was incredible. It was incredibly scary. And the sound design was just impeccable. And I was reaching out to some friends that are really into theater. I was like, is this what like Broadway is like now? Or was this an exception to the rule? Because there was so much media involved with sound design and the sets were interactive and there were screens and all that. And everyone's like, no, this is like a next level new type of thing. And then afterwards, we get to go backstage and meet everybody. We got to meet the lead and the kids got to run around the sets and they're playing with the props and all this stuff. It was an incredible experience. I want to keep the name quiet for a moment because he actually is going to be a recurring character on season 5. And we talked, and I think we're going to hopefully have him on the podcast.
Awesome, man. I'm not a theater guy.
Yeah, I wasn't either until like just wait. Just wait. So, couple quick plugs before we jump into our episode and talk about some artists. We do have a Patreon, as I mentioned earlier. We have a $5 tier and a $10 tier. If you like the show, you want us to keep doing this, you want to support us, joining at either tier really gives us inspiration to make more content. It motivates us, and it also creates a connection point that we don't currently have with folks. We've got a Discord channel in there, so please do consider joining if it's something that's interesting to you. We have a website, horrordads.com. You can head there, buy some merch. You can find us everywhere on social media at Horror Dads. We are now on TikTok. Jamie's been doing a ton of TikToks.
Also, YouTube. Get on over there and subscribe. YouTube. I hate to be that guy. I always make fun of people that do this. Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, there you go.
Punch that bell.
Don't do any of that. Just subscribe. And then let us know. Actually, we should run some sort of giveaway contest for new subscribers or something, but we'll get that in the works. But yeah, head on over to YouTube. That's our newest thing. So it feels good to get some subscribers on there. Makes us feel like what we're doing is worthwhile. If you don't, that's fine too. If you don't give a shit, we don't either. So love you either way.
If you do like the show, please do consider giving us a 5-star review. Anywhere that you listen to the show helps others find the show, feeds into the algorithm. We're grateful for it, and it just makes us feel really, really nice. With that, though, dude, you want to...
Let's get into some art.
Go to some artists. Art the Clown. Let's do it. All right, dude. We're here.
Here we go.
Let's do this.
Get fancy.
All right, so we're going to each talk about 10. So, again, this is not any specific order.
That's not a top 10.
Nope, not a top 10.
Just 10 of our favorites.
Too effing hard to do a top 10.
Also unfair as well. And who are we to be making lists of artists, huh?
Jamie, I have
who the fuck are
multiple frames in my house.
Who are we?
I know a lot.
We are collectors of...
We are collectors, but we're consumers, so we're not visual artists, really. So this is simply a, hey, what do we like? What do we love? And a lot of the people we're going to talk about have been on this podcast, which is fun. So this was such a cool moment.
Yeah, we've been lucky. That's always been a focus of this podcast and of us.
Yes.
And that's one of the big reasons we got into this. I'll talk about.
I would venture to say that if
an artist is the tie that bind it here. Yeah?
I agree.
All right.
I totally agree.
Let's get into it then.
All right. You always go first. So I'm going to start that way you can end. You can end with the last pick. So I'm going to start here. Back on episode 7 of the Horror Dads podcast, in its infancy in the year 2020, right? So we started this right before the pandemic hit. So we weren't quite a pandemic baby, but we were pandemic babies.
We were right before it.
Very young cousin.
Yep.
But episode 7, we were joined by who's become a wonderful friend of ours, and that's Matt Pepler. So Matt Pepler is my first artist I'd like to highlight here, and he does incredible stuff. So if you were to look around this basement right now, I probably have 15 to 20 Matt Pepler prints down here on these walls.
Yeah, I'd say you have most of his
horror catalog. Yeah. So Matt, he's a freelancer. He's an illustrator, designer, and he's got passion not only for horror, but I'd also say pop culture. I remember combing through his page at my old house before I lived here, and we didn't start the podcast till I lived here, but our affinity and love for physical media and all things in this space, predated us getting together to do this show, of course. And I remember going to his website, and he has these travel posters on there. And the two things that struck me were the property, the quality of the property, and the property itself. I was like, oh my God, this is what it looks like inside my brain. Like all of these movies that and it's fan art, so it's not commissioned stuff. So he's choosing the properties that he's working on. And everything, I was like, man, Friday 13th, Halloween, The Thing, The Fog, Trick or Treat, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Salem's Lot, Scream. I'm just looking across my room right now, and these are all properties that he's interacted with. And the color schemes and the travel poster concept and the cost. I remember being so staggered. I was like, wait, you can get one of these for like $10 or whatever the cost was at that time. And he's stuck to that, man. Like his model is that. He just makes these really affordable, incredible pieces that are these bright color schemes, and the properties he chooses to work with are perfect. If you go to mattpepler.com, you can see his full catalog, and he truly does some of the best stuff, and he's become a really great friend of ours. So, Matt, we love you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, love you, Matt. I didn't put him on my list only because I knew he was on yours. Figured we'd leave it at that, but dude, Matt is the best. And I have many T-shirts of his, like he does. Yeah. He has the horror sticker. I love man.
Yeah.
Everything he touches is great. I have interchangeable keychains that I do
every year.
I have the Haddonfield, and then we have the
Camp Crystal Lake.
Yep. Every spring, I'm switching my fucking keychains. My wife's like, "What are you doing now?"
Don't worry about it. I'm getting ready to change to the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital one. So but yeah, that's my first pick. Where are you heading, man?
Good one, dude. I'm gonna start with the artist who started it all, as we referenced. This is Aaron Crawford. Most people would know him better as the brain behind Cavity Colors merch. Does a million of T-shirts. You and I lived in Chicago, and one night we happened upon, just like out of nowhere, this movie called Night of the Creeps. So we watched it and we were like, oh my God.
Yeah, and we're like mid-20s.
Then you somehow from there got to Cavity Colors, right?
I posted, so
you were the one who got us here.
On my personal Instagram back in the day, something of Tom Adkins, and I hashtagged, I think, Night of the Creeps, and he commented on it, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then legitimately the rest is history. That night changed our lives.
So you bought this one. You bought that print right there.
Yep.
And it's like a hot pink background with the Halloween 3 face and like
all melding together.
You showed me this and I was like, what the fuck? How do I get this? By the time I wanted it, it was sold out. You can only get an 8x10, which I wasn't going to do.
Because it was like, that's like one of 50, I think.
Yes.
It's written on there
It was like
somewhere.
a numbered print, like one of 35 or some shit. So he would always do that, and I'd buy, like, I have his Chud print, and this is what I miss about, and this is what a lot of people, if you come into Cavity Colors now, you don't know that it started off as just Aaron doing art. A lot of it was unlicensed. It was just him doing art that he loved, and he would put it out there as a limited print or a T-shirt or whatever, and then that was it. It's done.
Yeah.
And I remember texting like every Thursday, like, the new print's dropping. And he would do fun shit, like, you know, the Cadaver Twins that I had, that T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he would do all this really fun stuff that was
they were just like doodles,
which was rooted in shit that we loved and that he loved. And when you look back at like his history, he started off just like doodling and putting shit on his MySpace, and he had some bands that were like, hey, could you do merch for us? So we started doing merch for bands, and then kind of came up slowly through that. He grew up with a love of metal music, skateboarding, horror, all the things that we love. So I just felt like we're kindred spirits in what we like. And you and I have so many of his goddamn T-shirts.
It's actually
so much of his artwork.
Unreal.
Yeah. So, dude,
favorite design of his?
It's this one, just because again, it's the OG.
Oh, I do love that one, but I got a different pick.
What do you got?
The Stay Evil hoodie, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The Stay Evil hoodie. That it's Evil Ed's. It's black and white, like hand drawn and burned cross on his forehead. Like,
yeah.
I remember that was the first piece of merch I bought where I was like, I might offend somebody by wearing this. And as a person that's always been very thoughtful about not pissing other people off and creating waves in the world, you know, I've been a person that absorbs noise, not that creates it. I've changed later in life, but like that was the moment I was like, I don't give a shit. I love this. I'm going to wear it forever.
Yeah. Now you have a T-shirt that says "Fuck off, Wade." But yeah, it's Aaron Crawford, the owner, founder, creator of Cavity Colors. We love him and his brand. So yeah, check it out.
Awesome.
If you missed, dude, I feel bad for people that missed the OG Cavity Colors.
I know,
like that pizza fucking print that he had with the dude, just all the fun shit. It was so fun. Yeah. All right, so that's my first pick, Aaron Crawford of Cavity Colors.
Nice, dude. All right. I am moving on to my next. So I'm going to go with an artist by the name of Stephen Gamble, who is older. He's still around.
Okay.
But I'd say he's older than most of our dads. We do have some older listeners, but they're this old. But Stephen Gamble was born in 1943. So my dad was born in 53. So he's 10 years older than my dad, who's what? Like,
damn, okay. Yeah.
My dad's what, 72. So this guy's in his 80s. Stephen Gamble, though, you might not know by name, but you would absolutely know if you were to pick up an original copy of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So this is the guy that brought those charcoal pencil drawings of the most absurd, you know, bringing the horrifying visions of what you were reading to some microscopic reality, because you'd have either a little doodle like above the chapter name, or on occasion they do a big page, but he was the artist behind, you know, kind of all of that. And grew up in Iowa. I was doing a bunch of research on him, and he was just talking about his parents enabled his fascination with the macabre and with pursuing a career in the arts. And someone born in the 40s, that's pretty wild, right? Like that
is wild. Yeah.
Post World War I conservatism, right? So parents growing up in the Great Depression, like the fact that they're like, yeah, be an artist and explore something that's unpopular is incredible. But known best for the work that he did with Scary Stories, of course, nightmarish illustrations, blurred forms of ink and charcoal, as I mentioned. And he ended up winning, I think, a handful of awards, Caldecott Award winning work. I think the majority of the properties he won those awards for were more on watercolor, which is actually probably one of my favorite styles of art.
Sure.
Upon reflection. But yeah, he really got on the map with Scary Stories, and he also did a bunch of illustrations for another series called the Eerie series. And within that, he had Ghosts, Meet the Werewolf, Meet the Vampire. So these were kind of early explorations of folklore, I guess, and rooted again in a time where like horror has become pretty commoditized, and properties are used and reused and manipulated and remanipulated over and over again. And he kind of entered the scene at a time where that wasn't happening quite as much, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So he really was kind of a pioneer within the space. And one thing that I love and appreciate, we always talk about the Scholastic Book Fair, right? It's like,
yeah,
leaving there with a fucking Ferrari poster, 10 Goosebumps books, and like erasers in the shape of middle fingers or whatever. Like that was childhood, and snap bracelets. But post our upbringing, I guess they had to change the artwork within the re-releases of those books because it was so disturbing for so many viewers. And I always found that to be pretty fascinating that they had to do that. Big fan of this guy's art style, and of course Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark has inspired so many effing things, I'd say, and has been instrumental in our love for the genre.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. I've never really gotten to the story of the dude who designed those.
Yeah
Cool.
So that's my second pick. So on to you, man.
Nice. I'm going to do one that I'm not super familiar with this dude. I kind of know him through Instagram. I saw his artwork through there, kind of dug a little deeper, but I don't know much about him personally, his past. But this is Stephen Loros Holiday. And if you check his art out, it's stunning. The colors are amazing. It has almost that like drippy, melty characteristic to most of it, which I love.
Yeah.
Vibrant colors. And he's definitely more of an illustrator, but like if you look through some of his stuff there, right?
Man,
it's
yeah,
like Ghostface, but it's not just Ghostface. It's Ghostface with this awesome purple, with the green highlighted, and then like look at this. This is one of my favorite prints of his.
We can actually, I'll show anyone that's watching this on camera. So we got a little bit Mrs. Doubtfire mixed with Leatherface.
Yeah,
what this appears.
Look at the title of it.
Title is The San Francisco Run by Fruiting Massacre.
So it's stuff like that that makes me love this dude. It's not just the art, which is fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's just kind of his like online persona and the kind of the way that he presents stuff and titles it, and it's just great. It's for me, I love it. Every time I'm scrolling through Instagram, I'm like, I can almost tell now what's his, and it just gets a double tap instantly. So Stephen Loros Holiday, check that out. If you don't already follow him, I'm sure you probably do, but if you don't on Instagram, check him out. He's got an Etsy where you can get a lot of his good stuff.
What's his handle on Instagram?
Yeah, let's do that. It's Stephen Loros Holiday Art.
Perfect.
So there you go. Check him out.
Stephen Loros Holiday. Nice, man. All right, I'm going to go to my third pick here. So all the way back on episode 15, we had a gentleman by the name of Chris Garofalo on the podcast, and I got to go with Chris here for a handful of reasons.
What a great dude.
Yeah, and my approach here, I easily could have picked like 10 people that we've interviewed on the podcast that are artists, so it was kind of hard to not select certain folks we've had on here.
Yep.
But Chris, in addition to being an incredible artist, is one of the coolest, nicest people I think that we've had a pleasure of interacting with. He's just a great dude.
It was like early on in our podcast career.
Yeah.
It was when he was one of the first interviews that we had where it was like, oh, this doesn't have to be like
stiff.
This can just be chill. And we did this was back when we started prelim calls before we even did the interview. And the prelim call was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God. We're both drunk by the time.
Yeah, because he was like, hey, I remember he had like a little cooler under his thing. And he's like, hey, I have a lime wheat ale or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, dude. And the reason I had to pick him, a lot of what you just said, okay? Our experience doing this, I think, has shaped the way we look not only at horror movies in this genre, but also how we interact with and observe art.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
And I think he was, if not the first person, one of the first people, to your point, that made us feel comfortable and was like, hey, it's okay to be authentic. Like, he leaned into the premise of our podcast, which is like, you can like horror movies, you can be into things that are countercultural, but also still be part of the machine. You can still be a dad. You can still work in corporate America. You can still do these things and enjoy these things. And I just remember he was such an enabler of our effort to make that a point. So culturally amazing fit, amazing person. I feel like that's where a lot of his inspiration comes from, but he also has a very distinct style. So he utilizes this really vibrant texture. It's almost like it feels like a pixelated sort of texture that overlays like all of his work. So you see a piece out in the wild and you immediately know like that is Chris Garofalo. Like he has a stamp.
Yep.
And one of the cool things about him, and I remember him explaining this to us when we were talking, and he was like, anyone that wants to learn how I do that effect, he's like, I'll teach it to him. Like I don't have a monopoly on this style. It just happens to be how I do all my work, but like I'll teach it to anyone. And he was always been so cool about that. And similarly, like the properties he chooses to work on, you know, he is an independent artist. He lives in the Philadelphia area, and he works mostly in a freelance capacity, but you know, he's done a bunch of slip covers. He said he did the lenticular for what Jack Frost, I think it was.
Well, yeah,
Wasn't it?
yeah, it was,
one of them,
which is like going for like $300 now or whatever.
Which is so cool. And I remember he was like, I did the mock up on the back of a napkin, like talking to the guys about it that were asking for it. And he, I think he originally grew up in the Midwest, migrated east, and he's interacted with a ton of great properties that we love, such as Scream, Autopsy of Jane Doe, I Know What You Did Last Summer, a lot of the Mahoning drive-in events that happen. He gets commissioned to do like custom promos for events that are happening there. And he's just such an ingrained part of the scene. And anytime you bring him up to other artists, people are always like, oh, he's the nicest guy. He's the coolest guy.
But yeah.
And it's just such a unanimous perspective about him. Chris Garofalo is my third pick. My favorite piece of his that I have personally in this room right now is the Autopsy of Jane Doe print. It's
print as well. Yeah, I love it.
Glows in the dark, man. It's one of the first times I saw glow in the dark ink utilized on a print, and it's like, man, this technology.
That's not like from a Spencer's.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you can make a glow in the dark poster that's not
doesn't
like
need a lava
mushroom
lamp.
And yeah.
I'm gonna hang it next to my tapestry.
Right.
Light my incense, my patchouli oil incense over there. Yeah. His work just has like a class and a quality and a uniqueness to it, and that's my favorite print of his for sure. Is that Autopsy of Jane Doe one?
Yeah, and I remember buying a T-shirt even before we did this podcast from him. I think that was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't remember but it was like a red shirt with the design, which was awesome. But the only thing I would say that I dislike about Chris Garofalo's art is that a lot of it is this isn't a knock on him at all. It's just that I want it. But a lot of his artwork is designed for an event or for a convention or something that I'm not at, and it's typically sell there only. And then he might if he's got any leftovers, he might throw them on his store. But it's always something that like I really fucking want, but I'm not going to be at that event, you know?
Yeah, he does a lot for, what's his name, Kenny with
Oh yeah, the
on-set
cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cinema.
All right.
Good night.
I'm going to go to my next one here.
Let's do it, dude. This
is someone that you've seen this guy's fucking designs in Hot Topic. You've seen them in Spirit Halloween. You've seen them all over the place. This guy's even done work for Cowdy Colors. This is Stephen Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
And this is someone that I'm huge into, that like vintage style. We're going to highlight someone earlier or a little bit later with vintage style as well. But this is a guy that like just it's so much different than the other guy we're going to talk about because it's all sort of like IPs that you're familiar with and scenarios that you're familiar with. If you've seen his shirts, you would know what I'm talking about. But this guy, so if you go to his webpage, it says Stephen Rhodes is a graphic artist and illustrator best known for his offbeat reimagining of children's activity books from the 70s and 80s. And he's got a little tagline on his Instagram that says nostalgia with a twist of darkness, which is perfect. He's always got like Michael Myers prints, and he has a line called Sinister 70s. He was a big, who wasn't, like, if you grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I'm not sure how old this guy is, but if you grew up in those time frames, there's imagery in movies and just IPs that will stick with you for the rest of your life, and to make that shit dark, like Star Wars or whatever else. Yep. If you add a dark twist to that, a horror twist to that, it makes it so interesting when that's not the realm that it was created in. So Stephen Rhodes, dude, again, don't know too much about him, but what I know I love his designs. And again, you can see them everywhere. You are familiar with his designs when you go into Hot Topic or Spirit. You see a million of them. So, yeah, that's Stephen Rhodes, and his Instagram is Stephen Rhodes Art, I believe. So, yeah, check him out. Stephen Rhodes is Australian as well. Thought that was cool.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's probably really cool because Australians are badass. So,
yeah,
they like
dude.
Fight sharks and surf all day,
every
day. They don't even work.
What's the movie with about the truck driver that takes place in Australia too? With
Stacy Keach.
Stacy Keach in it. Yeah, man, I'll never remember the name.
I don't remember the name of it. Road Games?
It is Road Games.
Okay, there you go.
I'll never remember it either. Here it is, though. Just turned a year older, still brilliant. All right, I'm going to head to my number 4 here. So I'm going to go actually with, I tried to diversify some styles, and this one is a very, very unique style. Okay. So I'm excited to talk about this one. So I went with Bree Tippett as my next pick. So she is it appears, like I mentioned, I love watercolor, and she's a watercolor artist, it seems, and she's kind of like a comic book and storyboard-ish sort of artist. Works on the indie scene, does a ton of stuff with horror graphic novels, and she actually did the illustration work for the graphic novel Darla, where we had Josh Rubin on the show, the That's director from Werewolves Within, and Hard Eyes. He did a graphic novel. We had him on the show, and when we had him on, he was talking about the great artwork, and we were talking like, "Hey, who did your art?" And it was her, and she does an amazing job. And the style is super unique. It kind of has this like body parts and sizes might be oversized at times. It's intentional in the way that it's done. So it feels almost like this blend of like macabre, punk rock ish, watercolor ish, and you're unbalanced as the viewer looking at it, because you kind of feel this sense of like, well, there's this intentional disruption to what you feel should be, and I'm going to take that away because I'm going to do what I want, not what it should be, kind of thing. And I love that about her style. It's really, really cool.
Hell yeah. All right, so my next one's going to be close to home. I'm going to go with David Slobodnik. This is what I'm wearing right now, what I'm wearing here, what I'm wearing there. We both have several tattoos from him, you mentioned earlier. So David is a illustrator, artist, tattoo artist. He does it all. He comes from Pittsburgh, where he was doing animation, illustration. I know he went to some famous school out there. I think he worked on some Disney shit, some Pixar stuff, maybe.
Yeah, his story's really wild and really cool. Yeah.
So he moved here, started doing art. So I think he went to YSU, right?
I think he did for a little bit.
Why he came here and then just kind of.
But he was working in screen printing, and whatnot, and
developed friendships and set up a home here. Thankfully, he did. So now he works at Trademarked Society Tattoo in Poland, Ohio, and he crushes it. We started getting our tattoos from him back when he was a apprentice.
Yeah.
And man, he's only just watching him kind of develop and become this amazing tattoo artist. So like I would say that his style is fine line to the max. Yeah, and you mentioned watercolor. He does watercolor tattoos that are fucking awesome. Like, I don't know that I would get one. I would just be scared to see kind of how it ages, or 10 years from now when it's like, oh, you have a watercolor tattoo.
But they look amazing,
They look fucking awesome. And I'm always intrigued. Like, should I get one? Like with a splash of orange, like a black and white Michael Myers with a splash of orange. You know what I mean? The watercolor in the back, that'd be fucking awesome. But yeah, dude, David Slobodnik, we had him on the show way back. I can't even speculate as to what number episode that might be, but yeah, dude, he's great.
He also does a very unique style of he'll take like a velvet canvas, like a black velvet canvas, and do a painted illustration, mostly of.
He's a big time painter as well.
He does them mostly commemoratively, like if you had a pet that died, for example. Those velvet canvas paintings, and they're always so beautiful and so emotional because it's typically like around a pet or a family member that you lost, and it's really profound, but also haunting and scary at the same time.
Yeah, what I love about David, and this goes for every artist on our list because they wouldn't be here if they didn't, but this guy lives and breathes art. To your point, just like anything that he does, it has an artistic touch, or if he has free time, I'm probably playing fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 or something, and this guy's doing some sort of art on it. Like,
exactly.
I made my own velvet so that I could, like, what? So, yeah. Dude, David Slobodny. All right. On to the next.
So I'm going to go with another former guest of ours that's been on the show, and I'm going to cover the incredibly talented Sarah Deck. She was
hell yeah.
on, I believe, our last episode. Yeah, dude, 1 episode ago.
Love Sarah.
So you don't have far to go backwards if you're new to the show here.
It's part of our Canada crew here. Huh?
Part of our Canada
crew,
exactly.
Is this the first of our Canada crew? We're about to get fucking Canadian heavy here.
Yeah, because there are a lot of really good Canadian artists, but she does hail from Canada. She's from up in Ontario, and I think she mentioned she went to Sheridan College, if I'm not mistaken. Her illustration work is insane. Most of the time it looks like a photograph, and she's just she's drawn it. So done a ton of stuff for slip covers, Blu-ray designs, poster art, and she just does such an exceptional job. And she's also really good people. And I'd be remiss not to mention her husband, Josh, who's one of the nicest humans
you have to mention him.
You'll ever meet in your life. Just hands down.
Great people.
Totally. So if you see her out in the wild, get a chance to pick something up from her book. She does incredible stuff. So that's Sarah Deck.
Hell yeah, Sarah. All right, so what should I do here? I'm going to go with Basil Gogo.
Basil
so
Hayden.
This is someone that I wasn't super familiar with. I'm pretty sure Gary told us about him and how he was an inspiration.
Yeah. I think Gary was talking about
I hope it was Gary because that's who I'm going off of. But yeah, Basil. So he's an Egyptian American. He's recently deceased. He was an older dude, born in 1929 in Egypt.
Whoa.
So like, holy fuck. But his art almost exclusively that I'm familiar with was based on the Universal monsters. So if you look at some of his art there.
Yep.
So it's like really colorful depictions of some of the most famous Universal monsters that you'll get. So he was just an illustrator that would do a lot of stuff. But what I'm familiar with and what most of America is probably familiar with is his depiction of the Universal monsters and the different colors that he would use and just the way he would make them pop. And this is someone that I didn't grow up with. I'm not super familiar with him and his work. But when I found out about him and went back, and just the fact that he's Egyptian American and like, dude, just his story and the way that he makes Universal, the fucking Frankenstein's monster is the most famous one of his that I see. And the way that he uses the colors and god damn, dude, Bela Lugosi, he does as well. That's just
you take these
phenomenal
properties that have been used and reused, much like I personally am not an Andy Warhol person.
Right.
I actually go the opposite direction on that. But
exactly
what Andy Warhol did with common commoditized product, where he would take the Campbell soup can and what you thought you knew about Campbell soup is now different because it's been Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
He had a similar approach, but with kind of horror properties. So I think, again, you see a depiction of Frankenstein's monster over and over and over again. And you're like, wait, what's this one? Or what's this Dracula? Or what's that?
Yeah, I think most of what you see and most of what we have in our mind of the monsters is from Basil, which is pretty sick, you know?
Yeah.
To think that like you defined a generation of monsters almost.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And he does this like psychedelic lighting that he does on his portraits. Whew, man. If you guys get a chance, Basil Gogo, just go peruse his collection and what he's done, and you'll see that he might be an inspiration to everyone on our list after. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, so that was Basil Gogo, Egyptian American Universal Monster. Check it.
All right, man. I'm heading next to someone we've not had a chance to talk to, but this is a gentleman named Matthew Joseph Peak.
Who's this guy?
So Matthew Peak, everyone I would say
I'm not familiar.
Knows his. You definitely know probably his most famous property, which is the original Nightmare on Elm Street poster art. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Nancy on the bed, hand coming up above her. Which, by the way,
do you have that poster?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I think I do not.
Looking at it right here.
Love it.
If you think about the property of Nightmare on Elm Street, this is 1984. So you've already had Halloween. You've already had Friday the 13th come out. And now we're on to the next thing, which is Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was really the pattern interrupt for, okay, we've done scary. We've done funny. Can we do funny and scary? So if you were to go to his website, he does private commissions for kind of like alternate film poster designs. Dude, I fell in this rabbit hole. 85% of them are horror, but he did an alternate poster design for Halloween. He did one for, I think there's a Fright Night one on there. And people just commission him to do these like beautiful, realistic, stylized interpretations. And they're all so fucking cool. And I'd love to commission him to do one, but I also might need to GoFundMe to make that happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
But he has won a handful of awards. Kingsley Crocker Show, first prize back in 2014. Society of Illustration's gold medalist. And as I mentioned, his father was, I think, more well known than he was. So he had to kind of live up to his legacy, which was probably helped his career and was probably very difficult for him as an artist because you're always kind of looking at a bar that you got to jump over, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So that's Matthew Joseph Peak, the illustrator from the original Nightmare on Elm Street poster design.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to cross the border here myself. Stop at Tim Hortons on the way up to Jason Edmiston.
Oh, nice.
So this is someone that I actually wasn't super familiar with until we started talking to like Gary and Maddie.
Yeah.
And they were all like, man, Jason Edmiston, you know, he was kind of, I want to say one of the OGs, I guess probably him and Gary working for Mondo. Yeah. He works a lot with NECA, Halloween Pinball, has his own portfolio store. This guy, he ironically one of the last to get his book of the Canadian artist that we knew.
Yeah.
And his book, I don't have it, but I thumbed through it when we were at Horror Hound. Looks fucking awesome. And he's just like, he's the most like even keeled dude.
I know, man.
And you can tell like all of his like fucking frustrations and shit probably comes out in his art. He's a painter, illustrator, designer. Again, you guys probably are familiar with most of his work from Mondo. Even if you aren't familiar with the name, you've probably seen his work. Just like everything, he does everything, and it's amazing. But what he's most famous for, I think, at least I think what probably most people know him for is his Eyes Without a Face collection.
Yeah.
Which is essentially just an eye portrait of any famous monster you can even think of. He's got a book of it. He's got a whole like site dedicated to it. And that's what most people know him for. And it's amazing. I've been thinking about getting a tattoo of one of his like, just eyes, but I don't really know what else to say except this guy is one of the OGs of the Canadian group that we know and love. And I think he probably inspired a lot of them, you know?
Totally agree, man. And he's the type of dude that seems like we don't know. Actually, I would say we know him the least of that group.
Yeah.
But I would say based off of the output of what you see from his work, he has, it's almost scientific, you know, like he seems like such a precise creator that everything feels so intentional and thoughtful and well designed.
Yeah, he reminds me of you know, like when you talk to or when you hear an interview with like a pitcher, let's say, like a baseball pitcher.
Yeah.
And they attribute all their success to like a pitching coach.
Yep.
That used to be a pitcher. That
That's
he reminds
amazing.
me
Yeah.
of that type of guy. That
Yep.
like you may not even know his name, but anyone of that their name, they will attribute their success and kind of look up to this guy, right?
Yeah.
So if that made any sense, what I just fucking said, my diatribe, it all
I'm
boils
there,
down
dude.
to Jason Edmiston is a badass, and if you don't know his work, go check it out.
I'm with you. All right. My next pick, I got to go with another childhood favorite. Would definitely be remiss not to reference this man. He does incredible stuff, has done incredible stuff. This is Tim Jacobus, from what most of you know as the illustrator for the Goosebumps books.
Hello, Tim. We're gonna just to preface this, we're probably to the point now where all of our picks will overlap.
Yeah.
I kind of set it up that way so we can just kind of roll through here.
Okay. So I'm going with Tim Jacobus. We had him on episode 77. He is an illustrator from New Jersey. We had an amazing conversation with him. He was one of those guys that you start talking, you're like, oh man, this guy's not only he's great, but like he's done great things, and he's still just really cool, really humble, and willing to lend his time to talk to 40-year-old nerds that want to talk about the past, right?
He's the type of guy I feel like after I get done sitting in his attic by myself, staring at all of his leftover posters, I would go fishing and just drink whiskey with him.
Yeah.
And then hang out in his cabin.
Yep.
That I just perused the attic of.
That's a great way to put it, dude. But I would say most of us know him, as I mentioned, from Goosebumps. Think of the rich colors, surreal, eerie scenes, airbrush quality to them.
Definitely.
He describes his process in detail. I think he said he did airbrush, right? Quite a bit. And it's so cool to think of, again, our interpretation. And the moment you think of Haunted Mask, the moment you think of Cuckoo Clock of Doom, the moment you think of any of those stories that we grew up reading, there's always a visual component to it. And before the TV show existed and before the movies existed, you had the cover, maybe a couple images drawn within, but it was the cover. And when we spoke to him, I was like, how do you feel about the fact that a show happened after this, right? And a lot of the imagery of the show references those covers. Like, that's amazing. Like the impact. And just hearing him talk about it, so cool. He did over 60 of them. He impacted the young adult horror, young adult book scene in a dramatic way. I would say, without a doubt, much like VHS covers, like he single-handedly is responsible for an increased literacy rate in the United States, because more fucking kids wanted to pick up that book and see what was inside. So, Tim, thank you for elevating the U.S. economy through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, man. But amazing stuff.
You have a favorite Goosebumps cover of his?
Yeah, I mean, so many come to mind. The Misty summer camp one.
I think this is my favorite right here.
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
What is that?
Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
Curse of Camp Cold Lake. I like that one. And of course, Haunted Mask. I like. That's probably the most famous Goosebumps story.
And Slappy.
Yeah, I actually watched that episode today when I was making dinner.
Even this one, look here, Monster Blood. Like, dude, just the shit coming down the steps. Woo!
So much cool stuff. But yeah, that's Tim Jacobus from the Goosebumps books as my number 7.
Ironically, as the kids were going back to school, we're trying to get them back in a sleep routine. Started reading them Attack of the Jack-O-Lantern.
Let me just get you to calm down by reading you this story about aliens that come trick-or-treating with you. Thought they were your friends that moved away.
That.
They did move away to Mars.
All right, so Tim is off the list.
Tim's off the board. Was he on your list?
Yeah.
All right, anything that you want to share about?
No, that was pretty much it, man. You nailed it. Kind of the image of our childhood.
Yeah.
Like those as even more so than the words in the book, the cover made such a fucking impact.
Yeah. I mean,
like I may not even remember the words written in there. No disrespect to R.L. Stine, but I remember those fucking covers.
Yeah. And you remember the visual style that it established that then led to the TV show, which was equally as important. And yeah,
because it had a super vivid quality, the artwork, and I didn't even know what that was. You know what I mean? So when you say airbrush, it makes so much sense. But definitely a painting style that translates so well to paper.
Yeah, and he said he doesn't have the originals anymore. I think Scholastic owns them, and I think he mentioned that they're in New York City in the Scholastic building or whatever. But he said they were cool about him allowing him to do a traveling show. I think they let him take him out or something for a period of time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 77, if you want to go back and check that out. It's a great discussion, great interview we had with him.
Awesome. So what number are we at here?
So that was 7 and 7. So we're on to 8. We got 3 more each, I think. So you can head to your next one. We'll just use Tim as your number 7.
Tim was my 7, right? Yep. Okay, so let's go to who do you want to go to next? Let's go to Ghoulish Gary Pullen.
Ghoulish Gary Pullen, man. Okay, so
so Gary got his start.
You do the first
in what was the magazine? Rue Morgue.
Rue Morgue. Yep.
So Rue Morgue is kind of where Gary started making his hay. I think he started working as an artist, but then kind of ran into management of the company, right? Towards the end. He became art director, right?
So that's when they were like, "Hey, do you want to come over and be art director?"
Yeah, which is insane to just think about that. And then he started doing all that work with Mondo, and he's again a freelancer now. But man, this guy is. I don't even think we have to really even speak about how prolific he is. Yeah, and it's not even just when you talk to him, when you talk to a lot of these guys, Jason Edmiston. Especially the Canada crew, but the way that they talk about their style and their production and what they do and how they do it is just it's listening to a true artist talk about their method. And it's unlike anything really. When we talk to Gary, it's man, we really are talking to Sonny Barger of the Hells Angels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's holy shit.
Yeah.
I always feel I'm in such a presence of a master at work. So everything that he does, that Prowler poster that I keep looking at, just the perspective, the way that he plays with the perspectives. Am I looking at the rose petals? Am I looking at the fucking teeth of the pitchfork? I don't know.
So there's so much depth and complexity to all he does.
And the way that he does it and talking to that guy, and man, God damn it. And one of my favorite prints of his, there's just too many to even. We have his book, and I can't look at it enough. But one of the more recent prints of his that is amazing to me is that Reagan print that he did.
The Exorcist one, yeah.
I really wanted that print so bad, the way that the colors popped. And when we went down to Horror Hound, it was already gone by the time we got there.
Yep.
Such a fucking bummer. But my favorite print that I own of his is for sure My Bloody Valentine. In the way that he breaks down. He has a term that he does for that. Fuck, can't think of the term, but it's an instructional pamphlet type of thing.
Yeah,
that's what the poster is, and the way that he kind of deconstructs all the different things that are in the movie, and the safety protocols that go in the mine, and just everything that he does.
You could look at that poster for
that's what you've always
10
said.
years, and then you find something different.
New every time.
Yeah,
and to even think about. Only an art director could put something like that together.
Yep.
The way that you fucking just putting that together to make one cohesive piece is insane to me. And just the fact that he can do that, that guy's a brilliant mind. And Ghoulish Gary, fuck yeah, love you, man.
Yeah, I'm. Gary is in my top.
God, love that guy. I can't even talk about him without gushing.
Top 3 list here. This, I know this was in no particular order, but definitely prioritize Gary toward the bottom of the list, being one of the last we talk about because of how important I think he is to us and to all of what's around us. All this physical media has been influenced in some way by Gary's presence, and he's done stuff for Mondo, Death Waltz, Waxworks, Arrow, Scream Factory, Anchor Bay, MGM, any brand you can think of, he's interacted, and he's been an exceptional talent.
Scream?
Scream. And Jamie mentioned his book, The Art of Gary Pullen. You flip through there, you're like, oh my God, that was Gary? Because there's so much you see in there that you're like, that was Gary? That was him? I was watching Teen Wolf with my kids, and the image that popped up on HBO was his. And I was like...
Just everything he does now with the Stephen King books. And
he's now doing the Stephen King covers. Yeah, which is so cool. Bought Jamie Salem's lot for his birthday last year, actually.
And then permeated fucking society with his amazing art, man.
Yep. And he did win the Rondo Hatton Classic Artist of the Year award back in 2009. So he is an award-winning artist. Jamie, I'm with you. Gary, we love you to the end of the earth, man.
Man, the best.
One of the best out there of all time. All right. Let's head next to classic style artist. I think this guy's really, really popular. A lot of us know him, but or know his work. And that is Austin Pardon. So
he's a vintage deconstructed type of guy.
We got a chance to meet him at Horror Hound this year, which was super cool. Picked up some stuff from his booth, which was awesome. And he really is the first artist I remember looking at and thinking, like, if a Halloween safety pamphlet came out in 1948 and it was talking about, like, check your candy, watch out for this, watch out. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I would describe it as Halloween in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's just like I imagine walking through like a Woolworths in 1981.
Yeah.
And just seeing all of the costumes and all of the Halloween decorations with like movable fucking limbs, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a fucking skeleton.
Yep.
Like it's got the little...
exactly what it feels like.
All of his art is that, and I love it. I love it so much. It's almost a lot of it has that texture that Chris Garofalo uses.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of it has that, and his like, if you go to his Instagram, his first thing here says, "I'm the final boss who's waiting for you in the center of the corn maze, on Halloween Inn." So, dude, just like this guy bleeds fucking Halloween. Just like go to his Instagram and just go through his shit and like this shit, and man,
I think the other thing that's cool to talk about, I know we were just talking about Gary's book and Jason's book, but I believe he's getting ready to release one that's available for pre-order now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I feel like we should pre-order that.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff he's done is really it's just beautiful. Again, nostalgic Halloween kind of memories. Feels like a safer, more distant past where things were simpler and easier. That's what it feels like when you look at his stuff. But he also represents these properties that are... I got two over here. So I got the Black Cat up there.
Yep.
And then the one you can't see is the one that you gave me, Jamie, which is the Michael Myers masks.
He does like a deconstruction of the mask.
Yep, the different varieties of it.
The layers and like so Michael from beginning to end in just a deconstructed mask, which is just fucking brilliant.
Yep, super cool.
And when we met him, I felt like I was meeting
Mr. Obama. Very nice to meet you. Yeah, like
right. Like Wayne Newton. Like I was meeting someone who's like in my mind a fucking like, you know what I mean? And he's such a humble
Wayne Newton.
What's funny is this guy is the actual opposite of like fucking Wayne Newton. He's the most down to earth, chill, like almost embarrassed to talk to you type of guy. So actually,
it's like the furthest thing from Wayne Newton possible.
I just kind of meant in my mind like
someone that's up
figure.
Yeah.
So to me, Wayne Newton Pardon is who we're going with. But honestly, dude, I remember being starstruck, though, when I found out he had a booth down there, because we were down there checking out Midnight Rental and had no idea he was even there. Fucking dumbfounded. We both bought a print. My print was like an 80s, like VHS type of throwback thing that, man, goddamn, I love Austin Pardon.
Yeah.
Actually, this tattoo that David Slobodnik did is an Austin Pardon design.
And Jamie had the wherewithal to not mention it when we met him, too.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, get out of here. I'm kind of like him. I'm the opposite of Wayne fucking Newton, so.
Hey, Austin, check out my Wayne Newton tattoo. It's your face on Wayne Newton's body with his hair, of course. I hope you like it.
Oh, man.
All right, who's our last one, man? This is a unanimous last pick, I assume.
Fuck yeah. This is our buddy to the end. This is Maddie Ryan Tobin, and dude, I just like him and like Gary have become such a close part of our podcast.
Yeah.
And people that we met only specifically through the podcast and become great friends, people we go to Horror Hound specifically to see. And they're just amazing. And they've taken us kind of under their wing as far as that whole thing goes, the convention scene, because we were new to it.
And even just willing to be a reference, right? Because they're
totally,
like, hey,
yeah.
if you need connected with someone, let me know. Or like if it, and they're always so humble about it too, but like if you need to use my name, I think they didn't even offer that, but I asked, I was like, hey, if I mention, and they're like, please, like if you feel like that'll help you, then absolutely, like whatever reference you need. And they're just the most humble, but
you can't, it's hard to find too many people that you followed before you follow them now, right?
Yeah.
So we know Maddie as a singer of one of our favorite bands of all time, Dead and Divine, and this was someone that we loved before he became he was always an artist. He was always doing that. That was always that was always part of what he did. We just didn't know that. So we loved him before we knew that part of him.
Yeah, past 25 years.
And so we get him on the podcast sort of to have to talk about music, have to talk about art, because we had then grown to love his art because a lot of it is horror based. If it's not, it's like 80s
or music based. Yeah.
So it's all shit that we love. And it's amazing. I mean, dude, his style is fucking incredible. Like that Candyman print is one that always comes to mind. Just like the texture and just he's an illustrator like through and through. Gives us a different perspective, different point of view of everything that he's looking at. Like this poster right here, the perspective of that, and just the thought to give us the point of view from Jerry Dandridge's eyes when he's about to throw that apple is so fucking. I wouldn't even like dream of that.
So many of these properties, like Fright Night is one of my favorite movies of all time. Maddie is one of my favorite artists of all time. And when you close your eyeballs and you think like, all right, what would Maddie do with a Fright Night property? My answer would be like, I have no idea. Because the most common ones have already been done and redone.
Yeah.
And typically when the commission's happening, there's like a set of criteria, I would assume, like a brief. And it's like, hey, use one of these properties. So it takes a really special artist to either be entrusted to utilize a different property or to go back and say, hey, no, I want to approach it this way. And I feel like the way he utilizes like this faculty print, like right behind us right here, it looks like a page torn from a yearbook.
Yeah.
So though the property of utilizing those characters has been done and done and done, in this format and this kind of display is not, and it's incredibly unique. And the attention to detail is amazing. The color palette is perfect. And then you already have a perfect poster. Why not have a variant that's also perfect and paralyzes you while you're sitting there looking at the shop for 3 hours? Like, well, which one do I fucking buy? Because I don't want to make the wrong decision.
That's tough.
And it just, he does the variants. He does such interesting stuff with the properties. And dude, everything he touches, it's just
and he also has a book, Neon Void.
Neon Void.
Yeah. We both own a copy. I don't know if that is available, but if it is, you should pick it up.
I think it is still available. It's currently in Inked in Blood, I believe, is the distribution network.
It's sad. Mondo going down is sad because a million artists were affected. Our Canadian crew that we so lovingly refer to them as, they were all affected because they all worked for Mondo. So that really sucks. And Matt did some of his best work for Mondo. I know that one of his last prints for them was that the Lost Boys print.
Oh man,
god damn, one of his best.
Yeah.
But he did which Friday did he do the vinyl? 5?
Yeah.
Which
Friday
is
5.
Man,
with the shears.
I love that so many of we each, one of the things that we both like as far as collecting are completionists on has been the Friday the 13th vinyls from Waxwork.
Dude. And so many of the people we've talked about intersect in certain ways too. And truly everyone on this list, whether we've talked to them or not, I'm confident based off of the way their art has made us feel and how it makes us connect through this thing that we're all here to love together. There's just a humble, honest, creative quality to it that just keeps us together and keeps us loving and talking about these things and giving new life to these properties that we all love so much, and repurposing these things that we love so much.
Yeah.
And Maddie does it with the best of them.
Yeah. And the reason we want to highlight this is because the way that the horror art community affects everyone, whether you even realize it or not, when it comes down to Blu-ray covers or book covers, like we were saying. And then when you get into the community and you realize how collaborative it all is, and the way that they all bounce off each other and do work with each other and for each other. And like, dude, it's fucking incredible. And the way that it's like a spider web that it all weaves together and connects, it's really insane. And I've loved getting to know all those artists and getting to see how all that works. And that's been one of my favorite parts of this. And that's why I figured we had to highlight the artists because they've been incredible. The movies are great. The books are great. The comics are great. But none of that would exist or be where it is today or be on the platform that it is if it wasn't for the artists behind that work. So we love you all. Fuck yeah.
We do love you all, and we will make an effort to share resources on how you can connect with these folks. Again, part of the reason we wanted to distribute this episode in the timeline that we did is because we do know that things are getting a little bit tough with tariffs, and all of these artists do this for a living for the most part that are on this list. Any way that you can support these guys, whether it's buying a print at a convention, buying a Blu-ray that they had interaction with, sharing their art, following them on social media, whatever it might be. We don't want this to turn into Toys R Us, right? Where it's a thing that we loved but didn't support and then it went away. So the idea of any of these artists not making art anymore because they can't make a living doing it breaks my heart and breaks my soul. So we got to collectively make sure we're supporting all these wonderful artists through and through.
Hell yeah. Well said.
All right. We love you guys. More to come. The whole season is upon us. So stay tuned for some more great content. We got some
special treats for you.
Ooh, we got a lot coming. So thanks for hanging with us again. We love you guys.